Yeah, I mean, what a great college basketball game, as we knew it would be. There's a different look in my team's eye when they play against these high-level opponents that they get excited about. So, really happy to see them play so well offensively. 20 assists on 32 makes. Only 11 turnovers, 5 in double figures. It's a joy to coach against a team that has so many good players, right? And Latson's been a really special player in this league. I know she scored 25, but she had to take 22 shots to do it, right? That's really good defense. I thought we came out a little bit flat we were kind of shocked by the rebounding intensity, although we had tried to warn our guys. But we shored that up as the game went on. Executed really well late game to pull it back when Reniya hit that big shot. Missed too many layups, quite honestly. But I like the shots that we got. I think I'll like most of the ones that we got.
Reniya, what did you see on the last play when Latson drove by you?
I mean, honestly, we knew it was going to her. We did everything we could just to get it out of our hands, but we didn't make the adjustment game time, so she just made the shot.
Courtney, to go off of that, obviously understandably so, you sent a lot of attention to Latson on that last play. Just what were you kind of communicating to them as far as what to take away and what to limit on that last play?
Yeah, we wanted to get it out of her hands. We did that the possession before, and one of their not featured players, which played 5 minutes, hit a big three, right? We want to play the averages there. Also, Sydney Bowles is averaging, I think she's shooting like 32% on the year and 28 in league. And one of our goals is to take away their best players. And so we didn't see her shooting 6 for 9 on our bingo card, that's for sure. But that's what happens in these big games with high level players is to win games, you got to make layups and you've got to have guys step up. And they had their bench do that a little bit more than we did.
Courtney, 2-point loss. You go 1 for 2 at the line twice in the final 2 minutes. I mean, just how frustrating is that one?
Yeah, I think if I had a group of guys that I knew didn't care, didn't put time in, I think I'd be more frustrated. It's more sad for them. I think I told them my goal is to make sure they continue to get better and play well. And they played a lot better, I thought, today than they had over the last couple games. And they played kind of more to how we've been practicing. So, again, I think this is a really good team who had to play really well again to beat us. I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing me say that. But we have a really good team, too, that we needed a little bit more from a couple more of our guys to pull it out, whether that's free throws or layups or rebounds or whatnot. But, it's a whole lot of season left, obviously the ACC season in the tournament. So this is just a good opportunity, good experience for our guys.
Courtney, do you think that the game was decided by the last shot, or do you think it was just a defensive battle all game? Like, was it that last shot that really came down to it?
I mean, yeah, I think the game is never really one play. It's why I love basketball so much. It's so fluid. And so, sure, if you make your free throws, now they're a little bit more nervous. Or if you make one of those kick out board threes that we've been making, that changes things too. But you're going to be in these type of battles, right? And I like that we were able to execute and get the right shot we wanted late. We took it out of their best players' hands. They made that three. And then in the last possession, you give them 3.5 seconds to score, and they sort of need to make a heroic play, and she did that. So, no, I mean, it's a little bit of we've got to get that stop, and we've got to hit free throws, but no, it's a pretty fluid game.
What were the adjustments after halftime? You did a better job on the offensive boards in the second half.
Way better.
And Maria really started to dominate it, particularly when Timpson was on the bench.
Yeah, they had two threes, I think, in the second. Is that right? In the second half? Yeah. Is that what they made? Yeah, 2. We were much better, obviously. We had to adjust. Honestly, we had to adjust. We were saying that we got to adjust quicker in game. I mean, I can't say Sydney Bowles was a high level on our scouting report, right? So we got to adjust a little bit better in game. But, it was – these guys know how they need to play. We actually thought at halftime we were all right. I told them this halftime isn't about readjustment. It's about just breathing and keeping your energy so you can continue to play with a high level of focus and a high level of energy.
So from your perspective, what was it like kind of, handling, Timpson down there on the glass? I don't think she was the most efficient as far as shooting, but just, when it came to, the rebounds, kind of like Courtney was talking about, just what was your perspective on trying to, contain her?
Yeah, Timpson and I have played a lot against each other, and we respect each other a ton because we have a similar grind down in the low post, just both like 6'2" forwards that are really active on the glass, and so we were kind of beating each other up a little bit. Looks like I got a couple more rebounds in her, so I'm gonna take that as a win. But yeah, she's a good player, and they needed her to play well tonight, as long as a few others to get a win.
Coach, you mentioned the
those layups, is that just a result of the frenzy of a game like this, or what?
I don't know. I didn't miss any of them, so I don't know. There's a level of concentration that we have to make. But yeah, I can't speak to those. I know that we have to convert them better, right? And Blanca's a freshman, so it's hard to. I thought she gave us really good minutes. I know India's been so big for us and just couldn't find her touch today at all. And those two things really hurt us.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit Sydney Bowles not top of your
Scout,
report, so
yeah.
Thank you. And then with some of their other foul trouble, they had some other players that probably weren't on your scout. Overall, are you pretty happy with how your team played against maybe a lineup they weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean, these guys play a lot of guys. I mean, usually, Cal, for example, who we play next, we're going to have probably 5 players on the scout, right? This team, you have about 9. It's more that they are total fillers to what Latson and OMG and Timpson do. And so you're either a filler that can shoot it a little bit, and we're going to force you to keep you out of the middle of the floor, or you're a clogger, meaning we don't really care if you shoot it, right? So I thought these guys really defended pretty well. I think we lost Bowles a few times off the strong side, which shouldn't happen, but statistically, it also she shouldn't go 6 for 9, right? So, it's like what happened at Notre Dame. The next game out, Notre Dame shot pretty poorly from 3, and good for these guys that they've earned the other team's best when they come to Carmichael.
Alyssa, what worked so well offensively? I mean, for you personally, double-double, 2 3-pointers. I mean, what do you think was working well offensively?
Yeah, I think our team is best when we slow down and we work together, but we also are still hunting aggressive attacks, because it's much easier to make open shots when another teammate creates it for you. So I felt like that's how I got 2 good open 3 looks. And yeah, we had like good flows and bad flows of offense, and we're just trying to hang on to those good flows as long as possible. And we're just going to keep watching film and adjusting before we get on the road.
And then you were in a nice battle down the last few minutes. What do you think was the difference in not being able to pull it out?
I mean, a lot of things. I think to Coach's point, I don't really think it all comes down to one play. I think we definitely could have tightened up some things throughout the game and made those in-game adjustments, like Reniya said, or Coach said, to not even get ourselves in that position in the first place. But I think at the end, like those games like this just come down to grit, and they had a little bit more than we did at the end.
Alyssa, I saw Kayla leading the huddle after the game in the middle of the court. What was she telling you guys?
Games like this, you have to take on the chin. It's not something we just kind of roll over and be like, oh, okay, they shot well, like that won't happen again. It's something where we need to take the lessons that we can from this game so it doesn't happen again, because we don't want to get in a position like this and be on this end of a loss ever again. So we have to use that as fuel, because if we don't, then we're just going to, like, it's a disservice to our teammates, to our coaches, to not push each other and hold each other responsible for, like, getting better for the next game. So stuff along those lines.
And Courtney, you say like it seems like every game you either shoot well and then you have a lot of turnovers, or you have a few turnovers and you shoot poorly. Today you limited turnovers and you shot really well. So what would you say is the reason for the loss?
Yeah, no, I don't actually say that. I think we've shot the last 5 games we shot over 40%. Our offense is maturing. We put a lot of effort on the defensive end. To be the top defensive team in the league, it takes a lot of effort, right, and energy, and so our offense matures over time, and it's better than it was a month ago, right? We're getting better looks. Our guys are understanding kind of what the looks are, and we're getting reps in that way. But turnovers, I thought in the last couple games, honestly, I think you tried not to, but I think they played a little bit down to the intensity and focus of the opponent, and so that showed. And against this opponent, we knew we had to be aggressive, as we have the other tough games on our schedule, and we've been really good. And so we'll keep trying to. Luckily, all the games left in our schedule are really good, so I think we'll have an aggressive group the rest of the way.
And trying to maximize your defense, you seem to be shuttling in India and Laney and Blanca and Maria, offense for defense in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, Blanca's length is really a challenge. Obviously, and also Maria had 4 fouls for a lot of almost all of the fourth quarter. But yeah, Blanca's length, she's mobile. Those are good minutes for her defensively, and India's been a real menace defensively. She could have slid over and take that charge maybe, and so of course you say, hey, I wonder if someone else, but you have to also trust your numbers on your own team, right? And she's been a really, really solid defender for us. Blanca's has been a really solid defender for us, and so you kind of you trust your numbers on that.
Coach, just looking ahead a little bit, you guys have your West Coast sway.
Yeah.
Teams are road teams that have traveled more than 2 time zones are one and not a lot.
Yeah.
On the road, what are you guys doing to prepare for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's a long flight, so our sport performance team will handle that appropriately. It's fortunately I don't we haven't really talked about it, but I think this group just those are the details, right? This is the job, right? And led with Alyssa's kind of leadership over these 5 years, how she is today is how she is every day, right? Like this is her job, and so I'm fairly certain that there'll be a little bit of a disadvantage because we're on the road and we're the time zone and the travel and all that, but like those are details. And we gave one away, not gave one away, but we lost one today, so we got to earn another one back somewhere. And so I don't really know how we're going to do it. The sport performance team will manage that. But we're going to treat all those things as details.
Listening, talking, road trip or hangs, what coach said.
No, we kind of just got to get our minds right after this game and rest up as much as we can before we prepare for a big trip. We know what we're going into, so we just have to prepare accordingly, and we'll figure that out in the next few days.
One thing that Courtney was saying was the offense, had been, kind of steadily progressing. Obviously, the 84 points today. From your vantage point, what has been clicking as you guys have been deeper in the conference play? Like, what offensively has kind of been working for you guys to have the efficiency?
I would say ball movement. I feel like in the last couple of games when we didn't have a lot of movement, we were very stagnant. And I think last practice we just made sure we moved the ball more and just make sure we just get our hands and push pace. So I think that was the biggest point.
Yeah, and I think what Reniya is doing, running our team in full court and quarter court, and then Grace providing really valuable minutes too, is a lot, right? And so I think a lot rests on their shoulders. And Reniya spent a lot of time studying it over the last week, and we played better offensively today because she's our point guard, quite honestly.
Do you expect Trey to make the trip?
Yes. Yep.
Alyssa, you've got some scratches on your arm. Do you remember where that's from?
I felt it, but I don't remember what it's from, but that's just what comes with playing aggressive and, good basketball. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Great, thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.